Why was William Branham staying the night with so many homosexuals? Is there more you know than what you are telling us?
Oh boy, here it is. I've been asked this question since probably about 2012. Whenever I began publishing some of the research that strongly suggests that William Branham himself could have been homosexual, everybody asked me, "What do you know? What do you know?" And I've taken a lot of heat from it, even from the X message crowd. Just simply asking the question makes a lot of people very angry, whether I answer it or not. What is my opinion? What's really odd about this, Charles, is that there are two courts of judgment, right? In American law, if a person does something, let's say somebody stole your wallet, and you go to the court of law and there is a film, a camera that recorded somebody stealing the wallet. That's documented evidence. You can point to the film or the video and you can say, yes, this person stole the wallet. In that same court of law, if you had a person say, I saw him do it, well, that's a witness, and it's really not enough. And you get a second witness. Well, I heard somebody say that he stole the wallet. Well, that's hearsay. And then you get 20 people that say, yes, I heard a lot of people were saying that he stole the wallet. Well, it's still hearsay. And it gets to the point where in American court of law, you cannot be convicted from this. Sometimes, even if it's direct testimony, yes, I saw it, well, if they can rule out for whatever reason the witness testimony, they'll try to do this and they'll get it thrown out, even though there are witnesses that witnessed the event. In the Christian court of judgment, it's the mouth of two or three witnesses. Did this person see it? Yes or no? If you have at least two, where there are two or three witnesses in the Christian court of judgment, that's what you go with. That's enough. Those are two completely different things. I have chosen purposefully my website, research, presentations, to choose the the United States court standard. And that's why you see all the documents that exist on the website. I can point to the document, and if they want to argue with me, that's fine. I just point them to the document and say, well, your real argument is with the document. It's not with me or my opinion, because here's the document. The document says this. And the problem is, because this is a human nature question, what they're really trying to get to was William Branham himself homosexual. They're asking, why did he stay the night? They're trying to ask, was William Branham homosexual? Well, who's the person who knows what's inside William Branham's head? And he's dead. You can't even ask him. You have to ask people who knew him. And, I hate to say it, Charles, but even if we had 1,000 people who said, yes, absolutely, I know William Branham was this, and you've got all of these witnesses that, according to Christian standards, the mouth of two or three witnesses, most Christians would say, okay, yes, this is probably the case. But if you have a group of people who are indoctrinated to believe that this was the man sent from God, the elite authority, it doesn't matter if you had 1,000 witnesses, they're still going to reject it. So that's why I've chosen the path of what can you document and what can you not. I know that's a non-answer, but what I will say is this. I have interviewed many witnesses. In fact, you and I interviewed a couple of them who it would meet the Christian standard of a mouth or two or three witnesses. Had I chose that route, I probably would have published it. And I still would have got the same backlash either way, right? People are still going to be angry. Even if you ask the question, they get angry. So what I'll say is I chose the documented standard, and you cannot document what is in a person's head. Is there more that I know than what I'm telling? Absolutely. There are things that I cannot say. And even if I said them, Charles, people who are indoctrinated in this cult, they're still not going to listen. They're not going to listen to me. They're just going to say he's lying because I don't have that documented evidence. I know quite a bit. There are some stories I wish I could tell. I can't, but I know quite a bit, and I'm choosing purposefully to stick with what can I document, what can I prove.
Right. I'll repeat the question. Why was William Branham staying the night with so many homosexuals? Is there more you know than what you're telling us? And yeah, again, the short answer is yes, there is more that we know. But, just like you said, John, we're trying to stick with what we can prove to you by eyewitness testimony and through documentation. And if we do that, if we stick to what we can prove through eyewitness testimony and photographic evidence, we can prove that, one, there was a significant number of homosexuals in William Branham's inner circle. We can prove, two, at least one of those homosexuals was arrested for committing homosexual acts while they're part of William Branham's entourage on one of his trips. We can prove, three, William Branham was regularly staying the night and having sleepovers with those men. And we can, four, prove that William Branham was sleeping in the same bed as some of those men on those sleepovers. Okay, so those are four things we can prove by eyewitness testimonies, by picture, photographic evidence, right? There is no question that those things can be proven by direct eyewitnesses and multiples of them, including William Branham's own lips, himself admitting to it. So you've got that. Now, what I would say, John, is that you and I have shown far, far more grace and deference to William Branham on this topic than the message would show to any other living human being on this topic. If there was even a half of the evidence against William Branham, against any other person in the message, that person would be destroyed. That person would be excommunicated. That person would be tarred, feathered, destroyed utterly by the people in the message, if there was even half the evidence against them, which there is against William Branham. And what you see there is that demonstrates A, the utter double standard of people in the message, B, the hypocrisy of the leaders, and C, the utter brainwashing of these people that they will look the other way and pretend like none of those things ever happened or it's not a big deal, right? But let me repeat again. There is hard, documented evidence from eyewitnesses that significant number of people in William Branham's inner circle were homosexuals. At least one of them was arrested for committing homosexual acts while part of his entourage on a trip. That he was regularly staying the night, overnight with those people, and that he was on occasion sleeping in the same bed as those people. Those things can all be proven by eyewitness testimony and photographic evidence.
Right, and there's a point D that I'll mention, Charles. The fact that the theology is so twisted that the fact that whenever you mention homosexuality, it creates this this sudden stir among the people that they think it's an incurable disease and that the person has committed the ultimate sin from which they can never recover. That's not the way the message, not the way that William Branham says it in his transcripts, but that's the way it has morphed into in his cult of personality. While all other Christians view it as just, those who view it as sin, they view it as a sin that let's help the sinner, let's save the sinner, let's support the sinner, let's help them with their sin in the way that we help you with your sin, and they help me with my sin. Let's help the sinner because we're all sinners saved by grace. So there's a deeper double standard in that this was a false gospel. It taught a false version of salvation, and it was meant to oppress, and it was meant to put additional weights on your shoulders that should never have been. People look to William Branham and his answers on these recordings for their salvation. That's wrong. That's absolutely false.